Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hey everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. I do appreciate you stopping by. We're going to continue in our series of the Stone Barking W00t Stout. This is the 2016 edition, 13% alcohol on this. This is Beer Review 3600, I think. A lot of beers under the bridge since I started doing this almost 10 years ago. I think it's appropriate, and I have one more left in there in this series. It's either a 2017, 2018, I'm not sure. The last one that I have, I've been keeping these beers for some unknown reason, and just now getting to it because the beer mail packages have dropped off a little bit, and we're getting some of these beers out of the cellaring fridge downstairs and out of the closet and reviewing them. So this is the 2016 edition. They say on Untapped it is 65 IBUs, and they say this barrel-aged palate saver has been favored among our fans and us since its inception in 2013, and we did review that one. Pecan, sweet, flaked rye, and bourbon-soaked wood provide this whopping complex superhero version of a Imperial Stout with a profound complexity that makes it ideal for cellaring, which I have done. If you can wait that long, and I can. Now we can't say this beer bestows Jedi powers exactly, but your taste buds may just be fooled into believing as much. A special thanks to Amanda Connor, who illustrated this year's label to support the Hero Initiative. So, I do like this series of beers from Stone. I find it very, very tasty. It is a blended beer, but it's a 13%er. It's a big beer. Cellars very well as far as what I have seen so far. We've done 2 or 3 of them already, and we're going to do this one today, and I think I have one more left. It's a little bit newer, fresher, and then we'll get to that pretty quick. So, with that being said, I appreciate all the support from all the breweries and all the subscribers that send me beers. I do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. But we're getting down to pulling stuff out of the cellaring fridge and the closets and thinning all that out, and it's getting there. So we'll see what happens as far as beer mail packages and all that kind of stuff goes, to see how far we can continue on doing beer reviews. And I'm not begging for beers. It is what it is. There's not a lot of beers that are available in my area in this part of Virginia that I have not reviewed before. So I don't buy a lot of review beers. I buy go-to beers, which I like to drink. But not a lot of new stuff showing up around here, especially in the Kroger's and the gas station / craft beer place that we buy from, unless we drive all the way across town 30 miles and go to the barrel chest. So I don't get over there very much anymore, but that may change. We shall see. So let's get on with this one. We've talked about everything. When I type it in, Beer Advocate doesn't have this particular year listed. They have it listed as 11.5%, which is incorrect. That's the biggest fuss I've got about Beer Advocate. They don't list the individual years like Untapped does most of the time. So basically they're set to 11.5%, and it's not 13%, so they're in the shower. Out of here. So with that being said, this came from Rico, my beer brother. So Rico, thanks a bunch, my brother. As a matter of fact, I got a notice today that he's sending me another beer mail package. So awesome. On the cap it says 20 years, 2016. Into the glass we go here, guys. We're going to go right straight down the center. A very aggressive pour. It does have a bright yellow ink stamped on the bottom of it. Side of the bottle here, it says when it was bottled on. And it also has on that upper label on the top of the bottle stating this is 2016 up here. So they're giving you both. When it says 2016 up here, that's basically enough information, but then they go to the extra step of printing a bright yellow ink stamp on it. It tells you the day, month, and the year that it was actually packaged on. So 2 thumbs up to Stone for giving us additional information, guys. About a quarter finger of head on that pour. Very dark beer, guys. Good looking stout, and I've been very pleased with the wheat stouts that I've done already. So for beer review number 3600, I thought this was appropriate. So let's see what we got. To the nose we go. Yes, very pleasant. Very nice roasted malt, hints of bourbon, maybe a little bit of caramel, toffee, black molasses, bittersweet chocolate. Smells awesome, guys. A great final beer of the evening, which it is for me. A great beer to cellar or to drink fresh. I do like this series of beers. They are outstanding, guys. They are. Smells awesome. Definitely getting the bourbon notes on this stout in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Thank you, sir. Oh, yeah. For a 13%er, little bit of boozy, but man, it's a 13%er. You're not drinking at 5, 6, or 7%. And the bourbon barrel notes are there. Very, very pleasant. I would buy this beer, guys. I mean, I would buy it. It cellars well. It drinks good, fresh. I mean, it's an outstanding beer. It really is. I've had beers with bigger bourbon notes, especially since some of those beers are not blended. They put them in the barrels and they stay there, and when they think it's got enough of the bourbon notes and they want to bottle it or can it, they do it. I think those beers have a little bit more stronger bourbon notes than the blended beers do. Of course, because it's not all bourbon barrel. They're blending stuff that's not bourbon barrels into those beers before they bottle them. So sometimes it makes those aromas and flavors and tastes a little bit more subdued, which I think this is. I've had better bourbon barrel beers, but I still think this is a very, very well done beer. Maybe they don't want the bourbon overpowering everything else. So that's the only thing that I can say to reason out why the bourbon notes are not as strong on this as it could have been or I have had previously from some of the beers. But pricing may determine what you're willing to spend on a beer that's 100% bourbon barrel as opposed to something that's blended. Usually that would be a little bit of cheaper purchase. And like I said, I think the recent one dropped it down to a 12-ounce bottle instead of these 22-ounce bombers. So makes it a little more cost-effective, because a lot of times, you know, you don't want to drink 22 ounces at a time. Or if you do, maybe want to share that with somebody. But when they reduce the size to a 12-ounce, it's enough for one person. Where this is basically a two-person, unless you want to drink it all. And I don't have a problem doing that, but I shouldn't. So, very nice aroma, guys. I mean, it's very, very pleasant. I am getting some bourbon notes. So I don't know what this beer costs. I didn't dig out the paperwork that Rico sent on it. So I don't know, he may have told me that, but I didn't dig it out. It's a very pleasant, a very tasty beer. Like I said earlier, one you can cellar. Buy two of them. Drink one fresh and then cellar one for 2, 3, 5, 10 years. Or if you got big deep pockets, about 3 or 4 of them, and then see how well it cellars over time. Drink one fresh, drink one 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years down the road. Or if you want to buy multiple years, because I think they produce this every year, do a vertical side by side. I don't do that on 13% beers anymore. 2 13% beers, that's a lot of calories, and I don't want to do that. And I don't want to be drunk as a pig when I come back and try to tell you what the beer's like. I'm trying to drink 2 of them. So I don't do a lot of verticals anymore. Some of you young bucks have at it, yeah. And I used to, but since my heart attack and stuff, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just not going to do it. So we're going to sip on this one, let it come up to room temperature, and we'll come back and we'll give it a grade and see where it ends up. Alright guys, I'm back. Got a little up here, nice lacing and stuff on the glass. There are bourbon barrel aged beers that are 100% bourbon barrel aged that have more bourbon notes than this, but I find this very tasty. It is, being a blended beer, and at 13%, the alcohol is fairly well hidden. It's cellared well. But if you're looking for off-the-chain bourbon notes, this does not have that, since it's a blended beer. But I do enjoy those bourbon notes that I am getting, and it seems that they have cellared very well, guys. If it was 100% bourbon barrel, the bourbon notes would probably be off the chain and be more impressive to me. 10 years ago, I would probably give this a 10. Right now, with the bourbon barrel beers that I have had and reviewed over the years, I find those a little more tastier than this. Even though they're giving us the bottled on date, stamped on the side, and the 2016 etched on the pre-printed label or the silkscreen label on the bottle. So they're giving us both options there, and it does have the ABV written on it. So other than the IBUs, which we do have access to according to Untapped, for the 2016 edition, it's 65. Very tasty beer, guys. Very, very tasty beer. And I'm on the fence here between an A- and an A beer. But with what they printed on the bottle with the bottled on date in bright yellow ink, telling us a month, day, and a year that they did it, instead of just a vintage like most of them do on this style of beer. That goes a little bit further in my book than just putting the vintage on it and not knowing what was done in January, July, or December of that year. So I like it. I would buy this beer. It is a very, very tasty beer, even though the bourbon notes are not off the chain to me. But they're there. There's enough blended bourbon barrel aged versions to give you that, but it's not off the chain. But very tasty, and it's cellared well. Final chug. Very nice beer for Beer Review 3600. A lot of beers, guys. Whole lot of beers. When I started this, I didn't think I'd still be doing this right now, but we are. So, well, as long as the beer mail packages keep coming in, and I can still get my hands on beers to review that I haven't done before, we will continue. And when I don't, it will stop. So, you won't see one every day like you have been. But it is what it is. All good things probably come to an end eventually. I'm not hoping it is, but it may be. So with that being said, Rico, once again, my brother, I do appreciate you sending me this one. 2016 edition of the Stone W00t Stout 2016. Very tasty beer, guys. So it does sell it very, very well. Very tasty beer. I am going to go. I'm gonna go up a grade, but since they put that on the front here at 2016 and got the bright yellow ink on there telling us the month, day, and the year that it was bottled on, and it is a very tasty beer in the series of the W00t Stout. I'm gonna give it to A. I'm gonna give it to A. 95 from me, right down the middle of the A category. Over to like Beer Advocate, they said 11.5% because they put them all together. Everything that I've done so far has been a 13 or plus bigger beers. So I don't know what year that the 11.5% came out. Maybe the next one that I have in there will be 11.5%. I don't know. I haven't looked. But this is a 13%. That's why I like Untapped, because they do differentiate between the year versions most of the time. Beer Advocate says 92 outstanding. I don't know what weight that carries with me. Probably 0 to none. When I can go to Untapped and tell me it's a 2016, which is what I am drinking today, and they have it at 4.17. That's their B minus, and also Beer Advocate has it at B minus. I'm gonna give it A minus. I'm gonna give it the solid A, because they do stamp the bottle with the month, day, and the year on there. If they didn't do that and this had 2016, it would probably get the A minus. But since they do that, I'm gonna give it to A. That carries a little bit of weight in my book, telling me the month, day, and the year that it was packaged on. So I know when it was done, whether it was the beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year, where it falls in there. So if you've had the 2016 edition of the Stone W00t Stout, they call it the Stone Farking Wheaten W00t Stout. It's very tasty. It is a very, very tasty beer. Big beer though, 13%er. Drink this one at home, guys. Don't drink this somewhere, a friend's house. I doubt you're going to find a 2016 available anywhere at any bar or brew pub or anything like that. But just realize you're drinking a 13%er, guys. That's a big beer. That's a lot of alcohol. And you think, oh yeah, I'm macho man. I can drive after having this. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's why you see me doing all my beer reviews here, guys. I don't do them at breweries or on location somewhere or out where I'm having to drive somewhere. I don't have to drive anywhere. All I gotta do is walk back down the hallway and fall down into bed. Not hurting anybody. And if I stumble and fall down before I get there, I'll get back up and I'm not hurting anybody but myself. So drink responsibly, guys. Please do that. Especially when you're drinking these big monster beers like this. But it is a very tasty beer. I enjoyed it. I would buy this beer. So, with that being said, if you've had the 2016 edition of the Stone Farking Wheaten W00t Stout 2016, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.